Chosen one, I need you to understand something profoundly important today. God's calling is not a random thought or a passing whim. It is a divine interruption, a moment when heaven reaches down and shakes the very foundation of your life. This calling isn't something to brush aside. It's the reason you were created. You have been chosen for such a time as this. This is not by chance or coincidence. God has ordained this moment in your life to realign your purpose with His greater plan. The world may be filled with distractions, noise, and pressures that try to pull you in every direction. But in this moment, I need you to understand that this call from God is deliberate. It's meant to awaken your spirit, to shift your focus, and to remind you of your true destiny. The time for wondering if you're ready, if the timing is right, or if you are qualified is over. God is calling you now, and His call is for you to step into the purpose He has set before you. Let me be clear about something. This isn't a sermon or a motivational speech. This isn't just another word to make you feel good or inspire you temporarily. This is God speaking directly to your heart, calling you to move beyond the distractions and the noise of the world, and to simplify your life in order to focus on what truly matters. His divine assignment for you. You may have been going through life thinking you were simply navigating one day after another, but this moment marks a divine shift. You were created with a specific purpose, and now is the time to move in that purpose. No more wondering, no more waiting for the right circumstances to align. This is your moment to listen and respond. God is calling you to leave behind the distractions that have been keeping you from walking in the fullness of your divine calling. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of life, chasing after temporary success, chasing after things that don't last. But what God is asking you to do is to realign your heart and mind, and He wants to take you out of the rat race of the world and place you in the path He has prepared for you. The time for hesitation is over. God is calling you to take action now. Why is this so urgent? Because this moment is not a random opportunity, it's a divine calling. God is asking you to leave behind distractions, whether it's the noise of the world, the pull of unfulfilling pursuits, or the comfort of staying in what is familiar. You have been placed at this crossroads for a reason, to make a choice, to align your heart with His will. The moment of hesitation is over. God's call is clear, and the only thing left to do is respond. This isn't about waiting for the right time, for a perfect circumstance, or for you to feel ready. This is about trusting God's perfect timing, knowing that His will is already unfolding, and it's time for you to step into it. Action is required, and that action is to align yourself with His divine purpose for your life. This moment is a divine invitation to step into the life you were always meant to live. God is not calling you to stay stagnant or to live in the comfort of your past. He's calling you to move forward, to embrace your calling with courage and trust, knowing that as you step forward, He will equip you for what lies ahead. This is your time. This is not about the world's expectations or anyone else's plan for your life. It's about God's plan, His purpose, and the steps He is asking you to take right now. Action is required. Step into the purpose He has for you. Leave behind the distractions. Trust that He is leading you to a place of greater fulfillment, peace, and destiny. This is your moment. Don't let it pass by. Chosen one. This moment is a divine summons, a call from God to step away from the busyness of life and focus solely on the divine assignment He has placed upon your life. The noise of the world, the distractions of success and approval, and the never-ending pursuit of fleeting achievements can all pull you away from the very purpose for which you were created. But God is calling you to stop, to pause, and to recalibrate your life. This call is not about pleasing others, meeting society's expectations, or chasing after success as the world defines it. It's about living in alignment with God to pursue His purpose for your life and to fulfill your true calling. The world will always present opportunities to divert your attention to focus on things that don't matter. But God is reminding you that there is a higher purpose, a purpose that transcends worldly desires and achievements. It's not about the accolades or the approval of others. It's about living in a way that reflects God's glory in every step you take. This call is an invitation to prioritize God's will above all else, to let His divine plan shape every area of your life. Chosen one. God's call is a sacred invitation to stop the constant motion and distraction of the world around you. It is a call to realign your life with His divine purpose, to focus solely on the mission He has entrusted to you. For too long, the world has tried to pull you in every direction, to convince you that success is found in the chase for fame, wealth, or approval. But God is saying no more. This is the moment for you to pause, reflect, and recalibrate your life according to His divine plan. The noise of the world, the pursuit of fleeting accomplishments, and the striving for external validation are all distractions designed to keep you from the higher calling that God has placed within you. These things may seem important for a time, but they are ultimately temporary. What God has set before you is eternal. Your calling goes beyond what the world values. It transcends status, possessions, and superficial successes. This is about stepping into the fullness of the purpose God has placed within you, a purpose that reflects His glory and fulfills His kingdom mission. The world tells us to chase after external achievements, titles, recognition, wealth, and success in a worldly sense. But God's purpose for your life has nothing to do with these things. His purpose for you is not about pleasing people or meeting the ever-changing standards of society. It is about living in alignment with His will and fulfilling the divine assignment He placed in your heart before the foundation of the world. The world offers so many distractions, opportunities to divert your attention and focus on things that are fleeting. But God is reminding you today that there is something greater. God's purpose for your life is a reflection of His glory. Your true calling is not defined by the world's standards. It is defined by the eternal purpose God has set for you. When you align yourself with God's will, you step into a realm where success is measured by faithfulness, obedience, and love, not by external markers. The pursuit of success in God's eyes is rooted in living out His will and bringing His glory to the world around you. Your life is a testimony to His greatness, and when you walk in alignment with His will, everything you do becomes an act of worship. In a world that constantly bombards you with messages of success, achievement, and the importance of gaining approval, it can be difficult to break free from the world's expectations. Society places so much pressure on us to do and to achieve, often at the cost of our own well-being and peace. But God is calling you to something different. His call is not about chasing after empty accolades or living according to the fleeting values of the world. His call is to live in the freedom of knowing that your worth is not found in what you do, but in who you are in Christ. Breaking free from the world's expectations means shifting your focus from external approval to internal alignment. It's about embracing God's definition of success and living in a way that reflects His kingdom values. Success in God's eyes is not about how much you can accumulate or how many people know your name. It's about how faithfully you follow Him. It's about trusting Him with your life and saying, God, I will prioritize your will above all else. It's about the peace that comes from living in alignment with God, where your actions, thoughts, and desires are all in harmony with His purpose for your life. This call is about prioritizing God's will above all else. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life, especially when so many things are pulling for your attention. But God is calling you to a place of focus, a focus that is centered on His divine plan for your life. This is the time to say no to distractions, no to the things that take you off course, and yes to the purpose He has laid out for you. To prioritize God's will means saying yes to obedience even when it doesn't make sense to the world. It means trusting that His plan is better than anything you could have imagined for yourself. Your life is a reflection of His purpose, and when you walk in His will, you reflect His glory in everything you do. You were created for this moment, for this assignment, and you are being called to embrace it fully. This is the time to step away from the distractions of the world and focus on the calling that God has placed before you. The things that once seemed important will fade in the light of His calling, and you will find that your soul is fulfilled when you live in alignment with His will. As you step into this new season, understanding that this divine call is meant to align you with your true purpose, you will find that the path forward is one of incredible fulfillment. Your true purpose is not something you must create or strive for. It is something you were born carrying. It has been woven into your DNA by your Creator. Everything you have experienced has led you to this moment where you are called to embrace the fullness of God's plan for your life. When you live in alignment with God's will, you find that you are not working for your own glory, but for His. You are not chasing after empty success, but living for something eternal and meaningful. You were made to bring God's glory to the world, and when you fulfill your divine assignment, you experience a deep and lasting joy. The calling on your life is not to live in the shadow of other people's expectations, but to step into the light of your true purpose. When you embrace this calling, you are walking in the freedom of knowing that you are exactly where God wants you to be. Chosen one, the time has come for you to step into the purpose God has placed in your life. This is not about chasing after fleeting things or living to meet society's expectations. It's about living for God's will and walking in the divine assignment He has set before you. Trust His plan, embrace His calling, and prioritize His will above all else. As you focus on His purpose, you will experience the fulfillment that only comes from walking in alignment with Him. The distractions of the world will fade, and the peace of knowing you are in God's perfect will fill your heart. This is the life you were born to live, a life that reflects His glory and fulfills the purpose He has for you. Trust His timing, embrace His call, and walk boldly in the purpose He has set before you. Your purpose is not something you invent or try to create for yourself. It is something you were born carrying. It is a divine blueprint that God designed specifically for you before you were even born. God's purpose for your life is eternal, and it cannot be shaken by temporary circumstances or achievements. The things the world deems important, fame, money, status, are all fleeting. But your divine purpose transcends those things. It is rooted in eternity, and it is tied to God's greater plan. God didn't place you on this earth to simply chase after the things of the world. You were placed here to reflect His glory, to embody His love, and to fulfill the unique assignment He has prepared for you. This purpose is already inside you, waiting to be uncovered. It is not something you must find by pursuing worldly success, but something you must uncover through obedience to God. When you walk in His purpose, everything else falls into place. The distractions of the world lose their grip on you because you begin to understand that nothing compares to the fulfillment that comes from walking in God's plan for your life. You are not here by accident. You are part of a divine design. You were created to live out a specific mission that only you can fulfill. Your purpose is not generic. It is unique to you. Embrace it. Understand it. Trust that God's purpose for you is greater than anything the world can offer. As you align yourself with His plan, you will find that true fulfillment comes from living for Him, not for the fleeting rewards of this world. Chosen one, your divine purpose is already within you, waiting to be fully uncovered. It is not something you have to chase after. It is something you were born carrying. Just as God formed the universe with divine intention and purpose, He has intricately designed you with a unique calling. From before the foundation of the world, God knew you, and He chose you to fulfill a specific assignment only you can carry out. Your life is not random, nor is it subject to the fleeting trends or temporary desires of this world. You were created for something eternal, something that transcends the momentary distractions of fame, fortune, or status. The world constantly tells us to chase after things that seem to hold value, money, recognition, and success. These things may offer temporary satisfaction, but they can never satisfy the deepest longing of your heart. Your divine purpose, however, is rooted in eternity, and it will never fade. It stands firm in God's greater plan for the world, and it is the only thing that can bring lasting fulfillment to your life. When you begin to live according to God's purpose for you, the allure of worldly success begins to lose its grip on your heart. You will realize that the pursuit of worldly things is insignificant compared to the joy and peace found in fulfilling the divine calling God placed in your life. God didn't place you on this earth to simply survive or to amass wealth or recognition. He placed you here to reflect His glory, to be a vessel of His love, and to carry out the unique mission He has prepared for you. The purpose He has for you is not generic. It is personal and specific to you. Your life has meaning beyond what you may see in the material world, and the assignment God has given you is one that only you can fulfill. No one else can walk the path He has set before you. No one else can carry out the mission you were created for. To walk in God's purpose for your life, you must begin by understanding that you are not here by accident. You are part of a divine design, a greater story that is unfolding. Every part of your life, your personality, your experiences, your struggles, has been part of the training ground God has used to prepare you for your unique assignment. Even the things that have been painful or difficult were not wasted. They were all part of God's perfect plan to shape you into the person He has called you to be. Embracing your divine purpose means aligning yourself with God's will. It requires that you lay aside your own ambitions and trust in the direction He is leading you. This may not always be an easy process, as it requires obedience sometimes to things you don't fully understand, sometimes to paths that seem uncertain. But remember, obedience is key. The more you step into God's will, the clearer the next steps become. When you live according to His plan, your heart will begin to settle in peace, and you will feel a deep sense of fulfillment. There is no greater satisfaction than knowing you are walking in the calling God has designed for you. You may wonder, what if I don't know my purpose? Rest assured, your purpose is already written in your heart. God has placed it there, and it is not something you have to seek out in the noise of the world. You don't need to chase after titles or accolades to fulfill it. Instead, you must look inward and trust God to reveal it to you as you move in obedience. The more you walk in faith, the more He will reveal your purpose to you. Your purpose isn't something you must create. It is something you must uncover through a relationship with God. Trust His guidance, and He will make your purpose clear. When you begin to live for God, everything changes. The distractions that once held your attention will fade, and the desires of your heart will shift. No longer will you be consumed with a chase for worldly recognition or achievement. Instead, you will begin to desire to reflect God's glory in everything you do. The purpose He has for you is not just something to achieve, it is something to live out every single day. Every action, every thought, every choice can be an expression of your calling as you walk in alignment with God's will. Living out your divine purpose requires trust. Trust that God has designed your life for a reason, even when it doesn't seem clear. Trust that He will provide the wisdom and strength you need to fulfill your assignment and trust that He is with you every step of the way. God has never left you. He is walking with you, leading you through each step of the journey. When you walk in obedience, you will find that you are walking in the path He has prepared, and He will lead you to places of divine fulfillment and impact. Your divine purpose is not for you alone. It is meant to bless others, to show God's love to the world. As you walk in your calling, you will become a vessel of God's grace, mercy, and power. You will shine His light in places that need it, and you will bring others along as you fulfill the divine assignment God has given you. God's purpose is bigger than you, and as you step into it, you will see that it is connected to something much greater than what you could have ever imagined. When you align with God's purpose for your life, everything will begin to fall into place. The peace you've longed for will fill your heart, and you will experience a sense of joy that comes from knowing you are living according to God's will. True fulfillment is found in walking with God, trusting in His guidance, and fulfilling the purpose He has for you. The world will never offer you the kind of fulfillment that comes from living for something eternal, something far greater than yourself. As you walk in the purpose God has set before you, you will begin to see the eternal impact of your obedience. You may not always see the full picture of how your life fits into God's grand plan, but rest assured that every act of obedience adds to the tapestry of His divine purpose. You are part of something much bigger than yourself, and your obedience to God's call will make a difference in ways you may never fully see on this side of eternity. But know that God sees every step you take, and He is pleased with your faithfulness. Your purpose is eternal. It will not fade. The world's successes come and go, but the purpose God has placed in your life will remain forever. Embrace it, live for it, and trust that as you walk in God's will, He will make your path clear, guide your steps, and bring you to the place where true fulfillment and divine impact await you. Your purpose is already inside you, waiting to be fulfilled. Step into it now with faith, obedience, and confidence, knowing that God is leading you every step of the way. To walk in your divine purpose, you must break away from the distractions that are stealing your energy and attention. The world will always offer you countless things to pursue, to focus on, and to consume your time. But God is calling you to let go of the unnecessary. It's time to cut through the noise, to let go of things that are pulling you away from the path He has set before you. This process of breaking away is a necessary step in reclaiming your focus. God is removing the distractions in your life to help you focus on the things that truly matter, the God-given assignment He has placed within you. The journey ahead requires a singular focus, a dedication to pursuing God's will above all else. This may mean stepping away from relationships, habits, or pursuits that no longer align with His purpose for your life. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but know that God's plan is far greater than anything you could have imagined for yourself. As you let go of the distractions, you will begin to feel the weight lifted from your shoulders. You will discover that peace comes when your focus is on what God has set before you. It is when we simplify our lives and remove the unnecessary clutter that we are able to hear God's voice more clearly and walk more confidently in the purpose He has for us. This process of realignment is not always easy, but it is necessary. It's time to shift your focus back to the assignment God placed in you from the beginning. Chosen one. The distractions that have cluttered your life are not merely coincidental. They are tools of the enemy designed to draw your attention away from the divine purpose God has placed within you. These distractions may seem innocent or even essential, but in reality, they are silent thieves stealing your time, energy, and focus. God is calling you to recognize them, to break free from their grip, and to reclaim your focus. You cannot walk in your divine purpose while being consumed by distractions that keep you from hearing God's voice clearly. Breaking away from distractions is not just about physical things, it's about spiritual realignment. It's about decluttering your mind and heart, removing anything that is not in line with the path God has set before you. This process may require tough decisions, letting go of certain relationships, stepping away from habits that drain your energy, or even releasing dreams that, while good in their own right, are not part of God's plan for you. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but know that God's plan for you is greater than anything you could have imagined on your own. The discomfort you may feel in this process is temporary. It is part of the spiritual pruning that God is doing in your life to bring you into a place of greater fruitfulness and purpose. Just as a gardener prunes a tree to help it grow stronger and bear more fruit, God is pruning your life to help you flourish in His will. This is not a punishment. This is God's mercy removing the distractions that hinder your spiritual growth and calling. God is calling you to a singular focus, one that revolves entirely around His divine purpose for your life. This focus is not divided. It is a focus that is laser-sharp, centered solely on pursuing God's will above all else. The world will continue to offer you distractions. Some are loud, some are subtle, but they all aim to pull your attention away from your divine assignment. God is calling you to resist the urge to be distracted and to center your life on His purpose. Focus is powerful. When you focus on what God has called you to do, your energy, time, and effort become multiplied. You stop wasting energy on things that do not matter, and you begin to pour your heart into the assignment God has set before you. Focus brings clarity. It helps you see clearly the steps God wants you to take, and it helps you walk with confidence in the direction He has planned for you. Focus also brings peace. The more you narrow your attention on God's purpose, the less the noise and chaos of the world will affect you. You will find a deep peace that comes when you know you are walking in alignment with God's will. This peace is a reflection of God's presence in your life, and it is only found when you make the conscious decision to remove distractions and focus solely on Him. It's easy to get caught up in the distractions of life, especially when the world around you is telling you that success comes from chasing after worldly things. But God's plan for you is different. It may not always align with what the world tells you to prioritize, and it may seem like a slower or more difficult path at times. But know that God's plan is always the best plan. His timing is perfect, and His provision is abundant. As you begin to cut away the distractions and focus on your divine purpose, trust that God will make the path clear. He will give you the strength you need to walk forward in obedience, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Trust that He is guiding you and leading you to exactly where you need to be. You don't need to have it all figured out because God has already gone ahead of you. He knows the steps you need to take, and He is with you every step of the way. In this process of realignment, remember that obedience to God's will is the key to unlocking the fullness of His purpose in your life. The distractions may try to pull you off course, but as you remain obedient, your focus will grow sharper, and your steps will become more confident. God will provide everything you need. Along the way, wisdom, provision, and strength. As you align your life with God's purpose, you will experience a joy that transcends worldly happiness. This joy isn't fleeting or circumstantial. It is rooted in the peace of knowing you are walking in God's will. There is a deep fulfillment that comes from knowing that everything you do is part of God's greater plan and that you are walking in alignment with His divine purpose. This joy will overflow into every area of your life. As you let go of distractions and focus on the calling God has placed in you, you will begin to see His hand of favor move in your life. Opportunities will open, relationships will deepen, and you will walk with confidence in the knowledge that God is leading you. The weight of uncertainty and fear will lift, and you will experience the freedom that comes from knowing that you are exactly where God wants you to be. In this new season, God will reveal more of His plan to you, and your life will become a living testament to His faithfulness. As you continue to focus on the divine assignment, you will discover that the distractions of the world no longer have a hold on you. You will walk forward in His grace, step by step, knowing that you are walking the path He has prepared for you. Chosen one, this is the moment to embrace the focus God is calling you to. The distractions that have cluttered your mind and heart are being removed, and it's time to reclaim your attention. God's divine purpose for your life is far greater than any temporary pursuit or distraction the world has to offer. As you focus solely on His will and align your life with His purpose, you will experience a peace and joy that surpasses all understanding. Trust in His plan, walk in obedience, and know that God is guiding you to the fulfillment of your calling. The path is being made clear, and the distractions of the world are no longer a threat. Step boldly forward, knowing that you are walking in divine alignment with God's plan for your life. Chosen one, God is not calling the ready or the prepared. He is calling those who are willing, those who are open to trusting Him, even when the road ahead is unclear. Obedience is the key that unlocks divine alignment in your life. It's not about waiting until everything falls into place or until you feel completely prepared. God is asking you to take the first step to trust Him and move forward in faith, even if you don't have the full picture. This is not about having all the answers or knowing exactly what the future holds. It's about trusting that God knows what He's doing, even when you can't see the way. Your willingness to obey is what positions you for divine alignment. When you take that step of faith, you're saying, God, I trust You with my future. I will follow You, even when I don't understand. Every step of obedience strengthens your trust in God. Trusting God with the unknown is part of the journey, and each step you take brings you closer to the fulfillment of His purpose for your life. Remember, God's call is not to the most capable, but to those who are willing to follow His lead. You don't have to be ready in your own strength. You just have to be willing. Chosen one, the road ahead may seem uncertain, and the path may appear unclear, but this is where your trust in God becomes essential. When you walk in obedience, you are choosing to trust that God knows exactly what He is doing. Even though you may not have the full picture, even though you may feel unprepared, God is faithful, and He is with you every step of the way. Your willingness to obey is more powerful than the temporary uncertainties you might face. Obedience positions you for divine alignment. When you take that first step, you are aligning yourself with God's perfect will for your life, and that is where His favor and guidance will meet you. It's not about being fully ready or having everything in place. God calls those who are willing, not those who have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect to move in His plan. You just need to be willing to say yes to Him, to take the first step, even when the full picture is out of view. Obedience starts with trust. Trust that God will guide you. Trust that He will provide. Trust that He has already gone ahead of you and prepared the way. When you say, God, I don't understand it all, but I will trust You, you step into alignment with His will. That one simple act of obedience sets in motion the divine plan He has for you. It's not about knowing every detail or being confident in every step. It's about trusting God's perfect timing and His provision as you move forward. God can do more with your trust and obedience than with your understanding. Your willingness to obey, even when you don't have all the answers, opens the door for God to move mightily in your life. Every act of obedience is a building block for your faith. Obedience is not a one-time act. It is a journey, a process that strengthens your trust in God with every step. The more you obey, the more you see that God is faithful. When you take that first step of faith, you might not see the end of the road, but God will meet you there, providing what you need as you continue to walk. Obedience is a journey of trust. As you step into the unknown, you see God's faithfulness unfold in real time, and with each step, your faith grows stronger. Think about the moments in your life when you have chosen obedience even when the path ahead seemed unclear. Those moments have already been shaping you for what is to come. Obedience strengthens your confidence in God, not because you have all the answers, but because you experience His provision, protection, and guidance firsthand. With each step, you come to know that God is true to His word, that He is a God of promises, and that He will never fail you. In the early steps of obedience, it can feel like you're walking in darkness, but obedience is like a light that illuminates your path. The more you obey, the clearer the way becomes. God will not always show you the whole picture at once, but as you continue to walk, He reveals more of His plan one step at a time. Each step of obedience is a step toward your divine destiny. It's a step toward fulfilling the purpose God has already set before you. You will find that obedience is a key to greater clarity. In addition to aligning you with God's plan and building your faith, obedience also opens the door to divine protection. When you walk in obedience, you are protected by God's will. The world is full of distractions, temptations, and pitfalls that can lead you astray. But obedience acts as a shield, protecting you from those things that might pull you off course. When you obey God, you are aligned with His protection. God's protection is not simply about shielding you from physical harm. It's about keeping you on course, ensuring that nothing detours you from the path He has set before you. God's will for your life is perfect, and when you walk in that will, you walk in His protection. You are not subject to the chaos of the world, the snares of the enemy, or the missteps that come when we try to walk outside of God's plan. Obedience is like armor. It shields you from the things that would pull you away from God's plan. It positions you where God can guide your steps and protect you from detours, distractions, and destructive paths. There is peace and safety in obedience, because when you are walking in alignment with God's will, you are walking in His favor and His protection. No matter the external circumstances, God will keep you safe. His will is the best place for you to be, and obedience is the doorway to His protection. When you step into God's purpose for your life through obedience, you are also stepping into His covering, His divine provision, His wisdom, and His protection. In the face of challenges, your obedience becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness and the peace that comes from trusting Him. He will never leave you nor forsake you. God's protection will always surround you as you continue to move forward in obedience, knowing that He is the one guiding and guarding every step. Chosen one, God is calling you to walk in obedience and trust, to step forward in faith, even without the full understanding of the path ahead. It's not about being prepared or knowing every detail. It's about trusting that God's plan is greater than anything you could have imagined, and His timing is perfect. With each act of obedience, your trust will grow, and you will experience God's protection and provision more deeply. The world may try to distract you, but obedience aligns you with God's will, and that alignment is where you will find the protection and provision you need. Step forward in faith, knowing that God is leading you. As you obey, His plan will unfold, His path will become clearer, and His protection will cover you every step of the way. Obedience is the key to unlocking the life God has destined for you, a life filled with His peace, His provision, and His purpose. Trust His call. Step forward in faith and embrace the journey of obedience. Obedience doesn't come with a complete understanding, and that's the beauty of it. God doesn't expect you to have all the answers before you take that first step. In fact, It's through obedience that you come to understand more fully. God is more concerned with your willingness to obey than He is with your complete certainty. The power of obedience lies in trusting God's perfect timing and His perfect plan. Every step of faith you take, even when it feels small or insignificant, brings you closer to your divine purpose. The more you move forward in obedience, the clearer God's path becomes. It's like walking in the dark with a flashlight. The more you walk, the further the light shines ahead of you. Similarly, as you obey, God reveals more of His plan. The clarity you seek comes with each step of obedience. God trusts movement more than mental certainty. Often, we want all the answers before we move. But God is showing you that it's not about knowing everything in advance. It's about trusting His guidance step by step. When you obey, you show God that you trust Him completely, and He will make the path clearer with each step you take. Chosen one, it's natural to want clarity before you move to desire to see the whole path laid out before you. We live in a world that values certainty, and we often feel uneasy when we are called to step into the unknown. But obedience doesn't come with a complete understanding, and that is the beauty of it. God is not asking you to figure everything out beforehand. He's asking you to trust Him enough to take that first step, even when you don't see what lies beyond the horizon. Obedience is about trust. Trusting that God is already there, that He knows the way, and that He is guiding you every step of the way. The power of obedience lies in the willingness to act even when you don't have all the answers. God doesn't expect you to have everything figured out, nor does He expect you to be fully confident in your own understanding. What He desires is your heart, your willingness to follow His lead. When you move forward in obedience, even without understanding the full picture, you are demonstrating faith that God's plan is greater than your own faith, that He is leading you towards something better. That is the essence of trust, trusting that His perfect timing will unfold the details as you go. Every step of obedience you take, no matter how small it seems, brings you closer to your divine purpose. God's will isn't a set of detailed blueprints that are handed to you all at once. It's a journey of discovery. The more you move forward in obedience, the more God's path becomes clear. Think of it like walking through a dark room with a flashlight. At first, the beam of light is narrow, and you can only see a small portion of the room. But as you keep walking, the light expands, revealing more of the room, and the path ahead becomes more illuminated. In the same way, obedience leads to greater clarity. As you take each step, even when you don't have the full understanding, the way forward begins to unfold. You may not see the entire picture, but each step of faith brings you closer to the fullness of God's plan. With every act of obedience, God opens your eyes a little more, showing you the next step, the next phase of His plan. What seemed uncertain before now feels clearer, and the journey becomes one of trusting Him step by step. Obedience is not about understanding the whole journey before you start. It's about trusting Him with each step along the way. Sometimes God gives you just enough light to take the next step. You don't have to know every detail or plan out the whole road ahead. The key is to keep moving forward, trusting that God will reveal more of His plan as you continue to walk in obedience. The light of His guidance shines brighter with each step you take, and the clarity you seek will follow. God trusts movement more than mental certainty. So often, we want all the answers, the full picture, the guarantees before we make a move. But God is showing you that the journey of faith doesn't require complete certainty. It requires obedience. The truth is, we cannot always see what's ahead, and sometimes we will never have all the answers. The path forward may be filled with uncertainty, and the doubts in your mind may try to hold you back. But God is asking you to move forward in spite of those doubts. When you step forward in obedience, you are showing God that you trust Him fully. Even without the full understanding, you are demonstrating your faith that He will lead you where you need to go. God knows the way. His guidance is not dependent on your own understanding, but on your willingness to trust Him. When you obey, you are telling God, I trust you, even when I don't understand. And with every step of obedience, God responds by revealing more of His plan, guiding you with clarity and purpose. God does not expect you to have complete certainty before you begin your journey. The purpose of obedience is to build trust. Trusting God's direction is often more valuable than understanding everything up front. It is the act of following, even when you don't have all the answers, that reveals your trust in Him. When God calls you to move, He isn't asking you to know everything in advance. He is asking you to trust Him with what you do not yet see, and that trust strengthens the bond between you and God. Each act of obedience helps you learn more about God's character and His faithfulness. As you take that first step of faith, you may feel uncertain or afraid, but with each step, you will experience God's presence, provision, and guidance. Obedience reveals God's goodness. When you trust God enough to move forward, even in uncertainty, you begin to see His hand guiding you, providing for you, and leading you closer to the purpose He has for you. God's way is often counterintuitive to our own way of thinking. Our human nature wants certainty, predictability, and control. But God's way is often different from our expectations. He works through obedience, not through human understanding. When you step forward in obedience, God will meet you where you are. The clarity and direction you need will come, but only as you move forward in trust. The beauty of obedience is that it doesn't just lead to clarity and protection, it also leads to reward. Every step you take in obedience opens up new opportunities for growth and blessings. When you follow God's guidance, you are walking in alignment with His plan, and that alignment positions you for divine favor and blessings. Obedience is the key to experiencing God's goodness in a way that only those who are willing to walk in faith can understand. As you obey, you will see the fruit of your obedience doors, opening new opportunities arising, and a deeper relationship with God. This is the reward of obedience, the peace, the purpose, and the provision that come when you trust God's plan more than your own understanding. In the end, obedience is not just about following rules. It's about walking in a relationship with God, following His lead, and trusting His plan. When you walk in obedience, you are not only moving toward your destiny, but you are also building a strong foundation of trust, faith, and divine protection that will guide you every step of the way. Chosen one, obedience is the key that unlocks the path to your divine purpose. Every step of faith, no matter how small, brings you closer to the fulfillment of God's plan for your life. It is not about having all the answers, but about trusting God with every step. As you move forward in obedience, God will make the way clearer, and His perfect timing will guide you. With each step, your trust in Him will grow stronger, and His protection and provision will follow. Obedience is not just a task, it is the pathway to the life God has designed for you. Keep trusting Him, keep moving forward in faith, and know that God is with you every step of the way. Chosen one. This divine call you are receiving is deeply personal and intimate. God is not asking you to follow someone else's journey or to walk in the footsteps of others. He is calling you to walk in the path He has specifically designed for you. You were created with a unique purpose, and your journey is yours alone to take. This is not about blending in or imitating the paths of others. God is calling you to stand out, to embrace the specific calling He has placed on your life. Many times, the world will try to tell you that success comes from conforming to standards set by others. It will pressure you to blend into the crowd, to follow the status quo, or to chase after someone else's dream. But God is saying, I have created you for something special. I have set apart a path for you. This divine call is yours to embrace, not a call to fit into a mold, but to walk confidently in the distinct and unique purpose God has for you. God's call is personal, not just in the sense that He chose you, but in the sense that He has a unique mission for your life. Trust the process of following this path, knowing that God will lead you exactly where you need to be. You are not following the journey of someone else. You are walking out the purpose God uniquely designed for you. This is where true fulfillment and peace come when you step into the role God has already written for you, and when you embrace the individuality of your calling. Chosen one. The calling you are receiving is not just a task to fulfill. It is a deeply personal mission that is connected to your very identity in Christ. God has created you with a unique purpose that is unlike anyone else's. Your journey is not about replicating what someone else has done, nor is it about chasing the world's definition of success. It's about discovering and embracing the specific calling that God has placed upon your life, a calling that will reveal your true identity and lead you to a life of meaningful fulfillment. For too long, the world has placed expectations on you. Society has told you that success looks a certain way: fame, wealth, and external approval. But God's purpose for your life is not about fitting into a mold or meeting the world's standards. It's about standing out, about embracing your God-given uniqueness and following the path He has specifically crafted for you. Your assignment is not generic, it's personal, and it requires you to walk in the fullness of who God created you to be, unashamedly and confidently. The world will always offer you a template for success, trying to make you conform to its expectations. It will urge you to follow the crowd, to choose safety and approval over authenticity, and to chase dreams that belong to someone else. The pressure to conform is real, and it's easy to get caught up in the rat race. But God's call for your life is different. He has not called you to blend in, but to stand out and fulfill a mission that no one else can carry out. The temptation to conform can often be disguised as practicality or as pursuing success, but it can subtly rob you of your true purpose. When you follow someone else's dream, you lose sight of God's dream for you. That's why aligning your heart with God's purpose is so important. You need to stop measuring your worth and success by the world's standards and start measuring them by God's standards, which are about faithfulness, obedience, and reflecting His glory. To walk in your divine purpose, you must be willing to break free from the world's mold. You must have the courage to embrace your uniqueness, the path God has laid before you, and the call He has placed upon your life. There will be moments when you feel tempted to follow the crowd, but it's during those moments that you must lean into God's guidance and trust that He is leading you to a path that will bring you true peace and fulfillment, even if it's different from what others expect. God's will for your life is not something you create. It's something you discover by aligning your heart with His. To walk in alignment with His purpose, you must first surrender your own plans, desires, and ambitions to Him. This doesn't mean abandoning your dreams, but it does mean submitting them to God's greater plan. In the process of aligning your heart with God's will, you are becoming the person He created you to be. This alignment is not just about doing God's will. It's about becoming the kind of person who reflects His love, truth, and purpose. The more you surrender to His will, the more you become the person He designed you to be, and the more your life reflects His glory. This alignment requires trust. It's about trusting that God knows what is best for you, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. God is not asking you to have all the answers, but He is asking you to trust Him with a path He's leading you on. When your heart is aligned with His, you begin to see the world through His eyes, and you start to understand your purpose in a deeper way. When you walk in alignment with God's purpose, you will experience a sense of peace and fulfillment that the world cannot offer. It's not about external success. It's about being in perfect harmony with God's will for your life. It's about reflecting His love and fulfilling your unique mission, regardless of how it looks compared to others. Your purpose is far greater than any worldly achievement. When you align your heart with God's purpose, you position yourself to experience true fulfillment. You are not here to chase fleeting successes that don't satisfy. You are here to fulfill a unique calling that only you can carry out. As you begin to embrace God's will for your life, you will find that true peace comes from following Him, not from following the expectations of others. Walking in your divine purpose is the key to unlocking true joy, the joy that comes from living authentically in alignment with your Creator. This journey requires courage, because stepping into your purpose often means stepping away from the comfort and safety of what you know. But the peace you'll experience on the other side of obedience is worth every challenge. As you walk in your divine calling, you will become the person God always intended you to be, and you will experience the deep fulfillment that comes from living out your purpose. Your life will be marked by His presence, His guidance, and His provision. The world may try to tell you that success is defined by money, fame, or approval, but God's measure of success is different. True success in God's eyes is measured by how well you walk in your divine purpose. When you align your heart with God's will, you begin to see success in a completely new light. It's no longer about what the world sees. It's about living for God's glory and fulfilling the assignment He placed on your life. Chosen one. God is calling you to walk in the unique calling He has for you. Your purpose is personal, and it is a journey that only you can walk. The world will try to tell you that you need to conform, but God is calling you to stand out, to embrace the distinct mission He has set before you. As you align your heart with God's will, you will find that true fulfillment comes from walking in obedience to Him. The distractions of the world will lose their grip on you, and you will begin to experience the joy and peace that come from fulfilling your divine purpose. Trust in God's plan, embrace your calling, and know that God is leading you toward your destiny, a destiny filled with purpose, peace, and His glory. Step boldly into the future He has prepared for you, and walk confidently in the path He has laid before you. Chosen one. The time to act is now. Don't let the distractions of the world keep you from your divine purpose. The world will always try to pull your attention in countless directions toward things that seem urgent, but aren't important toward success that is fleeting and shallow. But God's call for your life is clear, and it is far more significant than anything the world can offer. You are being invited to step forward in faith and to trust that God is with you every step of the way. The moment of hesitation has passed. Now is the time to move forward, to trust in God's perfect plan for your life and to embrace the calling He has placed in your heart. Don't wait for a better moment or for more clarity. Move now. And as you do, God's protection is guaranteed. His plan for you is secure, and He will guide you through every step you take. Take that first step, knowing that God will provide everything you need along the way. Don't hold back any longer. This is the time to walk in obedience, to trust in God's promises, and to believe that He is leading you toward a future filled with His purpose and grace. God's call is not something to be delayed. It's an invitation to step into your divine destiny today. Step forward in faith, knowing that He is with you and that His protection surrounds you. Chosen one, the time to act is now. I know you might have been waiting for the perfect moment, the right signs, or even a more convenient time to follow God's call. But I am here to tell you the moment is now, and God is calling you to step forward in faith and trust that He will guide you every step of the way. This is a divine invitation that cannot be delayed any longer. Don't let the distractions of the world keep you from your divine purpose. Every day, the world tries to pull your attention in countless directions towards fleeting desires, distractions, and things that may seem urgent, but ultimately don't matter in the grand scheme of God's perfect plan for your life. God's call for you is much bigger, much more significant than anything the world can offer. It is time to recognize that God's purpose for your life is not like the transient goals the world tells us to chase. The pursuit of wealth, fame, or recognition can often lead us down paths of emptiness. But God is offering you something deeper, something eternal, the fulfillment of your divine purpose. And that purpose is far more meaningful and lasting than anything the world can offer. The world will always offer its distractions, trying to convince you to follow a path that seems comfortable or desirable on the surface. But God is calling you to move beyond those distractions, to prioritize His voice and step into His plan for your life. The moment of hesitation has passed. The call to action is now. It's time to move forward, to trust in God's perfect plan for your life, and to embrace the calling He has placed in your heart. You might not have all the answers, and you might not understand everything about where this path will lead. But trust this: God will never leave you or forsake you. He is already ahead of you, preparing the way. All you need to do is take that first step in faith. If you keep waiting for a better moment, for everything to line up perfectly, you may miss the opportunity that God is giving you right now. God's call isn't something to put on hold. It's not something you can afford to delay. It's a divine appointment that is meant for today, not tomorrow. So move now. Do not wait for more clarity. Do not wait for the perfect circumstances, because they may never come. Step out in faith and trust that as you take that step, God will provide everything you need along the way. He has already promised that He will equip you for every good work, and He will not leave you to face the unknown alone. His grace will carry you through each step, providing wisdom, strength, and peace. One of the most beautiful aspects of following God's call is that His protection goes with you. When you move in obedience to His will, you don't walk alone. You are not merely stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into God's plan for your life, and He will surround you with His protection. As you take that first step, know that God has already gone ahead of you, preparing the path and clearing the way for your divine purpose to unfold. His protection is guaranteed. He will guide you through every step. There may be moments when you feel unsure, moments when doubt creeps in, but God is faithful. He will keep you from harm and will lead you exactly where you need to go. In this journey, there will be challenges, but obedience to God's call brings divine protection. When you trust in God's plan and choose to follow His voice, you are positioning yourself under His safeguard. His will for your life is perfect, and when you walk in it, you are walking in His divine protection and provision. The doors of opportunity may open wide before you, and even though the road may seem uncertain, God's hand will shield you from harm. His presence will go with you, and His peace will guard your heart and mind. Obedience protects you from detours that may lead you away from the path God has set before you. Chosen one, I invite you to respond to God's call today. Share your testimony in the comments and stand with other believers in agreement. Walk in alignment with God, knowing that you are not alone on this journey. We are a community of believers walking in obedience to God's call together. Your testimony has the power to encourage and strengthen others who are also walking this path of obedience. When you share your story, you build a community of faith, and you remind others of God's faithfulness. Now let's close in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts full of trust and gratitude. We thank you for your divine call upon our lives and for the opportunity to walk in alignment with your will. Father, we ask for strength, clarity, and boldness as we take the next steps in obedience to your call. Help us to hear your voice clearly, to move with faith, and to trust that your will for our lives is good. We trust that your grace will carry us into the future you have prepared for us. Lead us with your wisdom and continue to reveal your divine plan as we walk forward. We place our trust in you, knowing that you are always with us. We commit to walking in obedience, knowing that you will guide every step. We pray for protection, provision, and peace as we step into the destiny you've designed for us. In Jesus' name, amen. Remember, chosen, your journey is just beginning, and with God's help, you will fulfill the divine purpose He has set before you. Step forward with faith and trust that He is guiding you toward the amazing plans He has for your life.